الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you are all safe and healthy and you are inshallah happy that day after tomorrow is Ramadan. Congratulations, Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. Ramadan inshallah will be Friday, as I have probably you have learned, and I have sent you all the information that I have from the Shura Council, from North American Fiqh Council, from the American Muslim Jurists Association, AMJA, and many other brothers and sisters in Southern California who's confirming that inshallah, based on all the calculation and so on, Ramadan will be Friday, the April the 24th, 2020. Now, there was a question last time, if anybody want to go and see the moon. Yes, you can go outside in your backyard or somewhere in the street, but don't get close to anybody and see if you can see it. I will do my best here in my corner to see if I can see the moon. But if not, inshallah, it will be confirmed, and tomorrow we'll get ready to fast on Friday. So, mabruk, inshallah. Inshallah, Allah will make it acceptable. Dear brothers and sisters, on Monday, we have covered a few verses, 6 verses actually, or 4, only 4, from Surah Al-Baqarah related to fasting and Shahru Ramadan. And we mentioned that the most important things is that Ramadan, alhamdulillah, is fard, mandatory for those who are able. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. That whoever witnessed the month of Ramadan with health, with iman as a Muslim, and baligh, that's mean he reached the age of taklif. The age of taklif is when the person is capable of fasting, and that could start again from like 5-6 years old, without enforcing, just encouraging, until any age later on that's capable of fasting. And of course, if the person is not musafir, if not traveling, and if the person is not sick. And we cover those with some elaboration. But mainly, in addition to all the physical ibadah that we go through, which is abstaining from food and drink really, and any other mufattirat. We'll come to a couple of it later, inshallah. The main objective, we said that in the month of Ramadan, is to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as you can of all the tawfiq and taysir and barakah, and to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what you want. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. If my people ask you about me, I am so near, I am so close to the servant of Allah. Let them listen to me, let them come forward and ask me, and I will help them and respond to them. So the next ayat, inshallah, we will recite, and we will, inshallah, stop at verse number 188. And if we have a chance, we'll go further a little bit, maybe to 190. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم وعفى عنكم فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون ولا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون. صدق الله العظيم. This is to number 188, and inshallah we'll continue the next two ayat if we have time and if the time allowed. Dear brothers and sisters, here is a situation where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us that in the month of Ramadan, you have all kinds of people. You have young people, older people, mature people, and so on. And you have all natural calls for all kinds of desires. Desires of for food, for drinks, for fun, for whatever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we know, the Quran talk about issues that there is no like shame about it. أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم. That is allowed for you to sleep with your wives at night time after the iftar. ليلة الصيام, the night of the siyam. So we are not talking about the days, we are talking about the night of the siyam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that is permissible to sleep with your wife, which means to interact and to have that kind of relationship as a married person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. They are your garment, that libas, this is libas, that what you wear, and they are the same to you, which means you cover each other in terms of concern and needs and care and anything that you think of as a human being. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that is permissible to you in the night of the month of Ramadan. علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew that you are exercising that right between husband and wife, but you were not like sure. And some of the Sahaba complained to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about this situation. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not give them a final answer until the ayat was revealed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what goes on in that human being and in his nature, and therefore Allah allowed that to happen, and it is permissible to have such relationship at the night of the day of Ramadan. So we're talking about after iftar until before fajr time or before imsak. Imsak is to hold from food and drinking and to hold back and to stop eating. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, he said, علم الله, Allah knows, أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you for that doubts and for not be sure and doing whatever that you are doing. وعفا عنكم. He forgive you. He accepted your like sort of apology to when you ask Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to make sure if this is permissible or not. Then Allah said, فَالْآنَ بَاشِرُوهُنْ. Now, from now on, it is okay, acceptable to have that relationship between you and your wife. And وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. And seek and have and let's say be content with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it permissible, acceptable for you. وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر. Then eat and drink as well during that night of the day of Ramadan until the dawn. الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود. The black thread and the white thread. خيط mean thread. And أبيض and أسود, black and white. But one of the Sahaba, so just to tell you sometimes how people understand the Quran, literally, he had one robe that is white and another robe is black, and he put it next to him, and every once in a while in night he will wake up and look at them. If he cannot distinguish them, he will continue sleeping. When he distinguished them, he will stop eating and drinking and he will wake up for Salah. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala figuratively giving us an example. It is not to do that experiment again. And he told Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained to him that is not meant to be when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Al-khayt al-abyadu min al-khayt al-aswad, that eat and drink until the early dawn. The dawn, the time of stop eating, which is just a few minutes before the adhan. And as probably some of you know, that during the time of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was two adhan. The first adhan was for Abdullah ibn Maktoum, Abdullah ibn Maktoum, the blind companion of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he will wake up about an hour before Fajr time, and he will make adhan, and people will wake up and they will do their suhoor or tahajjud or getting ready if they are far away from the masjid. The second adhan is the adhan to come to the masjid and pray Fajr. And that was performed by Sayyidina Bilal radiallahu anhu. Bilal radiallahu anhu, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, don't like really come during the time of Abdullah ibn Maktoum, the first adhan. Come to the masjid in the second adhan when Bilal radiallahu anhu make the adhan, which is the time of stop eating, drinking, and you need to, if you need to take a shower and come to the masjid. Now that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ, until the early dawn light, the light of the early dawn, is being distinguished for you from the daytime or from the night time. So at the end of the night, then there is some light shows up, and people who live in the desert or people who have some experience in that and they can distinguish, then they will understand that. Nowadays, of course, we have the watches and we have all kind of alarm system and determination system. We don't have to go through that, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it as a general rule for everybody, regardless of their technology at any time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you may eat, drink, and have your relationship until that time. Then you have to hold. ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, okay, eat and drink and have all this relation until the white dawn start coming out at night, and min al-fajr, then Fajr is time coming, you stop totally. ثم then أتم الصيام إلى الليل. Then complete your fasting during the daytime until the night time. So that is the story on this, mashallah, night of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تُبَاشِرُوهُنَّ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. Be careful and be aware that you do not have that permission or right while you are in the masajid or during the time of i'tikaf. I'tikaf is when you are dedicating your time, your physical being, into a corner of the masjid or some section of the masjid that is to stay the last 10 days of Ramadan. The last 10 days of Ramadan, they have like this extra rules for those who are doing i'tikaf. Otherwise, if you are not doing i'tikaf, there will be no problem. You can continue your normal practices. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا. Those are the limitations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the boundaries. Do not transgress. Do not go over. Do not forget about it. كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explaining to the people so they will have more and more of the taqwa. Now, dear brothers and sisters, without going into details, but there are some people who may exceed that limit during daytime, especially if they are newlywed or if they are like young people and they are driven by their emotion and so forth. And that's why Rasulullah make it clear for the people that during the fasting, stay apart, stay away. Don't be, unless you have control over your emotion and your feelings, so you don't lose your barakah of your siyam or your siyam totally. Now, if you break that and if you do things like this, then there is some fiqh rulings and kind of, I don't want to say punishment, but it is remedies what to do, and it is really very severe. Dear brothers and sisters, we are talking about eating, drinking, and worldly affair. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. How you gonna eat your money between you falsely? That's exactly the literal words. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون. And while you know. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to know, since we are talking about eating, drinking, and spiritual, status, Allah wants us to know that, listen, life is not only that side. Life also is a side of being pure and clean in terms of your money, in terms of how you deal with that. And you cannot just pay it to the judges or rulers or people who have influence to buy them out and take some other people right and other people money, and you think you are doing good deeds. So here we are talking about bribery. Here we're talking about mishandling of wealth between people, and we are talking about rulers who will not fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and will not obey the laws of Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Do not eat the money between you, which means do not exchange the wealth in a wrong way, a way of bribery, the way of cheating, or any other embezzlement, or any kind of mishandling of the wealth of the people. And that is a great important to come after the ayat of siyam, the ayat of ibadah, because life to us is another form of ibadah, regardless of the format. All aspects of life for Muslims is forms of ibadah. The specific formats, that is what we call prescribed teaching, such as salah, where you have to pray standing, making ruku', sujood, tahiyyat, and salam. 2 in the morning, 4 in the dhuhr, 4 in the asr, 3 in the maghrib, and 4 in the isha, plus minimum of 12 sunnah prayers. Those are formatted formats. You have to come up with them regardless. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. This is like given. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given us zakah, siyam, hajj, and of course shahada. Those are 5 pillars. But the rest of the life affair is not left alone. It's not like you do anything you want. Establish the wrong relationship, gain unlawfully, hurt somebody, do something here. No, it is all specified. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that in the Quran in different format and different ways. One of them is this. And somebody might say, oh, well, but I have to get that, let's say, let me say, for example, a chance to go for a what you call a scholarship, and I bribe the person who decide that. It is my right. I have to do it. If I don't do it, somebody else will do it. All of those games that people play, all those assumptions people put to justify their wrong action, it is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. Now, one of those unfortunate situations that happened, people hear sometimes, for example, just an example, just come to my mind. A person wants to go for bankruptcy, and all of a sudden he will go and hit all his credit cards and collect funds from the companies that he, let's say, have credit card for them. And then at the end of the day, say, well, those are like kafir, or those are not good anyway. And this is capitalist system, etc., etc., etc. That is totally not acceptable. That is what exactly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. When they trust you and they give you that credit card to use it, or they make like your limit to 2,000, 5,000, whatever it is, not to go and cheat them and steal them and manipulate the truth and the facts. And such situation, dear brothers and sisters, we as Muslims have to be disciplined about it. That it's not only this worldly affair we care about, and it does not end at any worldly gain. It is the akhirah, the taqwa, the iman, the character, the value, the principles, the akhlaq, all those moral, ethical things that Rasulullah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought to us. That's what we have to live in. not just like, for rak'ah for zuhr, and or maybe longer beard or look like, and what we call it, customize our life the way that we want. So if I am a sheikh, I have to wear certain things. And if I don't put certain things and do certain moves or talks, then, something wrong. No, something wrong if you cheat people, if you lie to people, if you mislead people, if you really don't be ethical in your conduct in life. That is the wrong. Not the looks. إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم ولا إلى أجسامكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not look at your face only and at your body. Allah, where Ramadan comes to really tell us that total privacy between you and Allah exists. And that's what you have to be aware of and caring about. It is not the people who check on you. Especially now, you do Taraweeh, Alhamdulillah. You don't do Taraweeh, nobody will notice. You are in your own. And the same thing with every other dealing in Islam. Unfortunately, what we call it, typify, we customize, we make it folklore. You know the word folklore, that certain dress. If I see somebody like wearing a gallabiya, I would say maybe that is Arabs. The other one wearing sharwal qamis, that is Pakistani or Bengali. Or somebody like wearing something, that's how you judge people. No, not all of that. It's rather the a'mal and the taqwa in the heart. Dear brothers and sisters, the next two ayat, inshallah, talking about mawaqit and about hajj. And it goes on to determine what is the moon is for. Yes, the crescent change like this. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it is to determine the time, the month, and in the year, and of course determine all those need to be determined related to the time. So it is 20 minutes after we started from now. I mean, since we started, and I think we'll keep it in context of Ramadan and fasting. And there are so many issues to cover, inshallah. And there is so many fiqh matters that we would like to go over, inshallah, as we are coming to the month of Ramadan, the day after tomorrow, Friday, the 24th of April, 2020, inshallah, the year of the COVID. Safety, inshallah. So I would like to open it for question and answer and some other discussion, and maybe I will cover a few issues related to the Ramadan fiqh matters. And I know that some people have concern about what's going to happen tomorrow in the Islamic Center as a part of the activities that we are doing, and for the rest of the month, inshallah. So jazakumullahu khairan. And with that, inshallah, I would like to see if you have any concern or question. And inshallah, we have more than half an hour. Tafaddalu, jazakumullahu khairan. Anybody have any comments or concern or question related to Ramadan? Inshallah, it will be a good time to ask. Yes, you just open mic and speak.
السلام عليكم شيخنا.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. حجي، كيف الحال؟
خير. كل عام وأنتم بخير.
وأنتم بخير ورحمة ونعمة إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
الصحة والسلامة.
اتفقنا مركزنا على الجمعة إن شاء الله.
بإذن الله. كل الناس إن شاء الله متفقين على الفرايدي.
إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. الله يعطينا أجره ويحرمنا شره.
آمين يا رب. الله سبحانه وتعالى يبارك لنا ولكم ويتقبل منا ومنكم صالح الأعمال.
إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله.
Inshallah. So it's a Friday confirmed. Inshallah, everybody get ready. Any other comments, question? If you want, I can, continue talking about Ramadan. I want to make sure that all of us not only start on time and be careful with that, Some people will ask, like, the calendar that we have, first of all. The calendar, dear brothers and sisters, after all, it's as much as possible estimates of the time where we stop eating and drinking. Now, if the adhan is coming in your phone, for example, and you still have some water in your mouth, you drink it. If you have a bite in your mouth, eat it. If you are brushing your teeth, continue, finish it. If you are like, those things, don't be like so, what you call it, sensitive to the point where, oh my God, what will happen to my fasting? This is first. So the timing of the calendar is as much as possible accurate. However, you plan your timing of eating, drinking, and as we said, if you are like, sleeping with your wife and what have you, we'll finish talking about that. To wake up and to get ready and to be in a good status, at least 5 minutes before. 2 minutes is okay. 1 minute is fine. And as I said, if emergency comes, you're still brushing your teeth, swallowing your water or food, then finish it is okay. The same thing for the iftar. The iftar is the time it's being specified. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in the hadith that we will be in good standing as long as we eat on time and we don't postpone our iftar and we don't rush our suhoor. So ما أخروا صيامهم وعجلوا فطارهم. So I don't say, oh, but still I see sun. Oh, it's still light outside and I want to take another 5 minutes. Don't be like overdo it. When it says like adhan, tawakkal ala Allah, bismillah, اللهم إني لك صمت وبك آمنت وعلى رزقك أفطرت ذهب الظمأ طلت العروق ثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. You make your word, your dua, and you start. The sunnah is to start with the date, at least one, and then you drink water. If you don't have date, then drink water is fine. But please for those who are like smokers and coffee drinkers and what have you, don't break your fasting with anything haram or anything like I have to have my cigarette first. But eat and drink and so on, and then la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah after that. The sunnah is really to make dua the 10, 15, 20, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour before iftar. Sit down with the family and make dua as much as you can. The dua at that time is very much blessed. In the month of Ramadan, in the day of Ramadan, there is 3 hours that is special hours. The first hour is really at the time of iftar. A time of iftar is a blessed hour that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when you make dua, that time is blessed time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look upon those people who have thirst and hunger and they are just fasting for the love of Allah. The second hour is the time of sahar. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ بِالْأَسْحَارِ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ وَفِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ in Surah الذاريات. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala إلا عباد الله المخلصين أولئك في لهم رزق معلوم فواكه مكرمون. So that the time of suhoor is the time of barakah. The other time is the time of fajr and after fajr until sunrise. This hour is blessed hour if you have the ability, and that's why it is highly recommended that you sleep at night as early as possible, say around 12, and you wake up by 4 and you get ready by 5, and around the time. And from after Fajr until sunrise, where you can make Quran and make dua, and in Fajr time, then you can, after the sunrise, you can pray the 2 rak'ah of duha. And then if you need to sleep anytime after that in the daytime, that's fine. Those 3 hours are a blessed hour in the day of Ramadan or the night of Ramadan. Iftar time, suhoor time, and تسحروا فإن في السحور بركة. That's another hadith. Have suhoor فإن في السحور بركة. The time is barakah and the food that you eat is barakah. The food will give you the strength for the rest of the day, and the time is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come down with his rahmah in the last third of the night, and he asks the people هل من سائل فأعطيه هل مستغفر فأغفر له. That who is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala any blessing at this time, any question, any needs, Allah will give you, inshallah. Now, again, I could continue for the rest of the hour. Unless you have question, I want to be as democratic as possible.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
It's Bashir.
Yes,
Yeah.
brother.
You mentioned about your brushing the teeth. So, what's your comments about during the day? If maswak is not available, what about the toothpaste and using the toothpaste and brush?
You have to be very careful not to get anything going down. If you can control that, some ulama permit that, and some of them they said until noon time. Afternoon is not really recommended. The same thing with using miswak. Miswak in the morning is okay until like afternoon or asr time, and after that you shouldn't really, you should avoid it. Now I know that's in the normal days that people, because of not eating or drinking, you maybe have some smell. And if you are dealing with customers, nowadays nobody dealing with anybody except maybe your wife and children. Maybe it's a not comfortable, smell, but that is fine. It's meant to be part of it, humbling and really putting yourself in the right place. That look, and without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessing of eating and drinking, even my mouth smell is not good. But this is, as Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that لخلوف فم الصائم عند الله أطيب من رائحة المسك أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. That the smell of the صائم, of the fasting person, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's scale is better than perfume or misk. So it is okay. In the morning, I would say it's fine. And let's say if somebody for any reason have suhoor and pray fajr and slept. In the morning, he felt like you need to brush your teeth. Brush it, be careful, but not to let anything goes on. Somebody will argue, well, but the taste is still in your mouth. Well, of course, the taste is still in your mouth from anything that you put in your mouth. Main thing is not to swallow it. Clean your mouth, make enough makhbada, washing, and then tawakkal ala Allah, and inshallah it's acceptable. Any other comments or questions, brothers, sisters? What about perfume? Putting perfume in the month of Ramadan. To the best of my knowledge and from the references I know and I read, there is nothing wrong with that. To have some oud or any kind of perfume into your clothing or your hands or around your beard or head, it's okay, acceptable. Now you may say, oh, but it gives you strength. It gives you like, you are now active. That's fine. The fasting is not meant to give you weakness only. In fact, fasting, for some people, it's like, if I eat, I will not work, or I cannot drive, or it's like make me heavy. Then it is okay to have a perfume. We are talking about in the house or outside the house for the man, and in the house for the woman. It is acceptable to smell good and to have a good smell around the house and around yourself. There is, of course, difficulties for the medication. If some people take medication. Now, if you have to take your medication during the fasting, then you are sick and you are exempted. If you can hold into it without the hold throughout the day, without the medication, then you are okay, inshallah, but you need the medication maybe after you break the fasting and before you start the fasting. Say, for example, I take small pill for sugar. I'll take it after a suhoor, and inshallah, throughout the day, I'm not consuming any food and I'm still okay. After suhoor, after iftar, then you take one if you need to and manage it that way. That is twice a day. That's probably okay. But God forbid, if you need your insulin and you need some other injections of any medication into your body, then you are not in a healthy status and you are exempted. What about, let's say, a blood test? A blood test is acceptable if something getting out of your body is acceptable. You have a test, you have to do things of that nature when you are not sick. If we are sick, God forbid, if you need a surgery or something, then that's another story. We said you are exempted. But there is a scheduled or rescheduled blood test or physical test or something like that. That's acceptable to be taken out of your body. Anything, they said that food or food let's say, objective, that to strengthen your body, I'll take an injection to be stronger, so I continue work or work harder. That's totally not acceptable. But to take blood and or to, let's say, have a physical test, somebody checking you and looking at you, whether it's male or female, as a doctor or as a nurse or something like that, then that's acceptable, inshallah. You are not introducing or introducing anything to break your fasting. Yes. Anything else, brothers, sisters? Any question come to mind in that regard? That's for fasting purpose. Can a person who is not Muslim fast? Of course. But his fasting is for his own purpose, which is like health related. Probably you have seen or you learn by now that fasting is great blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in different ways. We understand it in religious, spiritual terms and health-wise. But now the scholars or the doctors, German and Japanese and other Muslim doctors as well, they are finding out lately in the last like 10 years or so that fasting after working during the day and getting tired, exhausted by say 2 o'clock afternoon, the body, out of being so weak, generate from the bones of the human body, what you call it, those marrow cells. Marrow cells that goes, as somebody described it, I was listening to a doctor, as a cleaning crew throughout the body to take care of all the cells that is not needed or getting old, or cells that is useless, or strange cells in the body, and so on and so forth. And the scholars, the medical doctors in that field, they are treating people of cancer in starvation. They are starving that person, not starving to death, of course, no, starving the person, preventing him from eating and drinking for a longer time consistently. So the body will generate its own immune system to take care of all the unnecessary, unneeded cells in the body that helps improve the immune system and health overall. So subhanallah, when you learn something like that and explained by doctors how that affect the body to be rejuvenized and re-energized, you say alhamdulillah ala ni'mat al-Islam. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the deen of Islam, which make it mandatory. And now those scholars are fasting, so many of them, Monday and Thursday, minimum twice a day, and so many other people fasting just to join us and be part of our effort. All right. Other question or comments? Anybody have anything to say?
So inshallah, starting Friday, you will have the talk between 6 and 7, right?
Right. 6 and 7 we said, or if people want to be earlier, we can do it, but we thought that's between 5 people will come home, pray Asr, get ready, and maybe 6 and 7 is good timing. As we know, we are at home, and I am personally at home. So the idea is to share with the brothers and sisters and the community at large, maybe 10, 15 minutes of recitation of the Quran. I am sure I cannot finish a juzu in 15 minutes, maybe if I read fast, but we'll read part consistently, inshallah, from the beginning of the Quran. And we'll go over some of the meanings and some of the question and answers and some other discussions that related to our affair as a community.
Inshallah. So
Now,
the email that went out today in the evening with the link, that link is good for the entire month.
I hope so. I hope that people will get it. Some people are always asking me what is the password, and what is the link, and so on. So I will use that. If there is a password needed, please include that in the email.
No password needed. The link from today's email, I sent, went out at about 8 o'clock. That is good for the whole month, the same link.
Alhamdulillah. That's great. Also, I would like to announce, as the board had decided and agreed, that this coming Saturday, the 2nd of May, will be a kind of fundraising effort between 6 and 7. Inshallah, we'd like to invite everybody. Please invite your friends. Let's open it for the whole community to join in doing something special this month throughout, by contributing as much as you can, so we can sustain ourselves and continue as a community. We don't know how long this crisis will continue, but we hope and pray it will end in a month or so. But if not, at least we should be ready for a couple months, and inshallah we can pull it together and generate the resources needed. The second thing is probably as announcement, tomorrow between 3 and 4, there will be some food distribution and assistance for some of the needy in the community. So if you know somebody, please let them go by between 3 and 4. It's just a drive through, and the brothers will put whatever product they have, the boxes in their cars, and inshallah it will be smooth between 3 and 4 tomorrow at the Islamic Center. Any other announcement or question, concern? Yes, brother. Walaikum salam. Alhamdulillah.
We can make some food also and then give it to the masjid at the same time. Like people who need it, they can take it, like a package.
It has to be unified effort. We are, Brother Shakil coordinating that, Shakil Ali. It is not like, one item food here and one other item here. It's just like, consistent of, I don't know exactly the items that they have, but they say you have rice, you have lentil, you have sugar, salt, and so on. All of that will be in a box and then it will be given.
Can you send the number? We can contact him, like we can provide, like if we can accept, like we can provide like a multi items. Like,
Inshallah. Inshallah, I will give you his number, and maybe this is not the only effort. If not tomorrow, maybe you can do it next week or the week after. I'm sure there will be another campaign of that kind.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakumullah. Any other question or announcement?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, Sadulullah. Just on
yes, doctor.
Participating in food drive or helping the needy, the masjid is accepting donations in the Mohit system. Electronically, you can donate in Ramadan or general fund and zakat and so on. Brother Munir has put in different choices. So that's another way of helping the needy in the community. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Yes, for all the brothers and sisters, please tell everybody, especially those who will ask, maybe you never did it, to get through the electronically to the masjid and donate through the Muhajj system. On our website, you can see it, donation section. In the email that we are sending, in the newsletter, and in WhatsApp, there is unless it is connected. But let's spread the word and tell everybody, and do not underestimate any contribution. Now, of course, a greater contribution will be better. Alhamdulillah, may Allah reward you. But do as much as you can, not only for the masjid, which is important and we need it, but for yourself. This is the time where you need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala barakah. You need Allah blessing and protection. This is the time where we need to be all together. And imagine if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking care of you at the time of goodness and everything's fine. And now at the time of hardship, you're saying, no, I don't want Rabbul Alameen. If you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the time of Allah will take care of you at the time of hardship. And you never know who will get the hardship and where and when. So inshallah, everybody will have a chance to do their best. And subhanallah, first our Islamic Center, we have to preserve ourselves so we can continue to serve others. And of course, some of the families in the community who will inshallah receive the zakat and zakatul fitr, zakatul mal, and any other support that we can provide. All right, just another announcement come to my mind. Islamic Center of Corona, they are doing food donation in terms of cooked food. They will do it every Saturday. I think like before iftar, maybe between 6 and 7 in the evening. And check with them, please. Every Saturday they will be cooking and distributing food, and the average of 2 plates for the family. And again, they will drive by. Nobody will get out of the car. You open the window and they will put the food or put it in a trunk. And if you need more than 2 plates, let's say, or boxes, I ask them, then they will ask you for $5 donation. $5 donation for any extra more than 2 plates per family or per car or something like that. So that's another effort. One of the brothers, he just called me and asked me to tell the people as well in Riverside or anywhere else. They are preparing something around 300 families. They want to provide about 300 plates. So they are hoping to have at least 150 families or around 100 families. So inshallah, the calamity will go away, and inshallah everything will go back to normal. Anything else, brothers and sisters? You have something to share? Please bring it in. Tell everybody about this coming, inshallah, Friday. We're going to start the first hour of our Quranic recitation and tafsir in brief. Anytime you have any question and any issue, please remember Saturday fundraising that we really need to reach out to as many as possible in the community and outside the community. It doesn't have to be local or in the state. As you know, all the efforts will be electronically conducted, so people can donate over the internet by charging their credit cards, and inshallah they will be highly rewarded. Now, those who spend at this time are not the same as the people who will spend later on, or maybe after Corona. Definitely at the time of hardship, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا يستوي منكم من قاتل من قبل الفتح مع الذين قاتلوا من بعد الفتح. They are not equal, those who have become Muslim before Islam succeed and spread, with those people who became to Medina and there is no challenge, no difficulties. After the conquering of Mecca, everything's become easy. You just become Muslim, come to the masjid and pray and go, donate, don't donate, nobody cares. And that was the situation before. Now it's different. Now where you have to show your determination, your sacrification, and that you really care. And you care not only about us, about each other, you care about yourself. What, God forbid, if something happened to you? You know, how do you think we are moving around? We are all moving with the protection of Allah, with the care of Allah, with the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the blessings of Allah. So please tell everybody, and inshallah we'll see everyone on Saturday.